Hi everyone, Esbjorn Cuba here. If you would have noticed that I haven't really been uploading any videos in the last 2 or 3 years, and that's because I have left the cubing scene, and that's because I have kind of just moved on from things, and feel like I've kind of just hit my wall with solving. And it's just there's certain things I just can't get my head around, and I've been struggling with this for a long time, and 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 it's kind of sucky because I can't improve, I can't get better, and it's the reason why I've kind of felt that I've made a decision just to kind of retire from cubing competitively. I've got all my cubes here at the moment, and I would like to sort of go through a timeline of what I've done over the last 13 years of cubing. Started cubing in 2007, and this was one of the first cubes I bought. I actually learnt on a Gabasoft cube simulator, which was out on the internet at the time, and I learnt on that before I even got myself this, and once I learnt the cube on the simulator, I got myself my first cube, which is this one right here. I've had this for over 13 or so years, and it's been with me for ever since I started cubing. And yeah, so I started doing it in 2007. I did it in front of my whole school, and I started gaining an interest in cubing. And then I found out that in 2009 they were doing a competition, one of the New Zealand's first competition in New Zealand for speed cubing. I didn't go to that one because I wasn't quite ready, and I was sort of a bit stressed, or not stressed, but I was just a bit nervous about things. But then 2010 came along, and then I competed in my first comp in 2010. That was my first comp, and I got pretty. And it was basically the pinnacle of my cubing. Was 2010 to 2014 was quite big in cubing for me, and I was really enjoying it. And of course, back then V cubes were very big, and they were mostly used in competitions back then, and I kind of always wanted get my hands on a V cube, and wanted to compete with them and that kind of stuff. But then and when I got to about 2012, 2013, it sort of started to sort of go a bit off track, but I still kind of just kept going. But I got myself a Diane Zanchi, which I don't have here because I sold it, unfortunately, which was my first sort of... so after the V-Cube, I got myself a Diane Zanchi, which was the first speed cube I had. I got quite good times with it, and I can't remember what times exactly I got because it's been quite a long time. But yeah, so it was a good cube. So this was my main for a bit. This was kind of re-stickered because I wanted to refurbish my V-Cubes because they were quite big to me back in the day. But yeah, so the Diane Zanchi was my biggest, or was my cube that I was having for, and I competed that for many years, up to 2015. Zanchi I can't remember when I actually got the Diane Zanchi. So yeah, so I got myself a Diane Zanchi, and I got good times with it. And so when 2015 sort of came along, it kind of was slowing down for me. I got into Square One, and this was quite an old Square One. I decided to use this one because for the video, because it's sort of like what I've had for a long time. I got into Square One, got an interest in it, and the first event I competed in Square One, I DNF'd by a whole average. So it was just a tryout. I just wanted to see how it was going to go, but I freaked out and I DNF'd my whole average. But so then that made me go back and practice more Square One. And after that, after that, I practiced Square One, and I got to my next comp, and I was getting pretty fast at it, and I got pretty fast at it, and I was noticing I was getting it under a minute or so, and I just kind of was getting even faster. I kind of looked up things on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, and I was using the sort of like the roux and screw method, and I kind of find that was sort of best for me at the time. Was still using it recently as well, but I kind of changed a few things. So I kind of went to roux and screw, and then kind of went to Lin, but we'll go to that later on. But yeah, so I was kind of getting fast, and when 2016 came along, I was top 5 in Square One in New Zealand. So, and then after that, I was just sort of just practicing to get faster and faster and faster and faster. And then then once 2017, these are sort of like the new cubes these days people use, just the GAN cubes. This was my first GAN cube, and this is the one I got a bit later as well. So so this was my first GAN cube. I was getting even faster times sort of with it, but then it came to a point where I was sub 30 for I was 30 seconds for at least two or so years, and could not get any faster. And this is where the wall comes in. The wall came in about 2017 to 2019. I don't know what it was. I tried roux, tried the roux method, but that didn't work out for me. And I also tried other methods like Petrus, still wouldn't work. And then other things was happening around that, like my music was picking up, and I kind of couldn't keep up with the times these days. This is so around about 2017 to 2019, I got pretty stumped with how I was going along with my cubing, and basically I was getting frustrated, didn't know what to do, and I found out that people were saying practice and practice and practice, but it just wasn't working for me. I just didn't know what to do, and I really, I'm just really stuck, and it's basically was the F2L, which I really had trouble on, and the look ahead and that kind of stuff, and I just kind of just felt like that I couldn't continue. I just couldn't get any faster, and it's something to do with just the way my mind kind of works with looking at things, and my mind just doesn't compute with sort of things, and it's kind of, my mind's sort of not sort of like it just doesn't really, what's the way to put it, doesn't really sort of work with certain like cases and all that. I got full PLL down pretty sus, but I still earn pretty sluggish on that as well. So I don't really know, and I've just really kind of just, and it's not, I kind of just grown out of cubing. I don't really find it as sort of fun anymore. I shouldn't really say that, but is what it is. And I mean, it was a good 13 years of my life, but it's time for us to sort of move on sometimes. And I feel like that it's about time for me to sort of move on as well. But it was a good 13 years of my life, and I like to sort of treasure it, and sort of just keep it as a sort of like a sort of a milestone, and just like kind of look back and just think, oh, that's what I used to do, and that kind of stuff. So, and I did my final comp, which was Nelson in 2020. That was my sign-off comp, and then after that, I just said goodbye, and that was it, and yeah. So, whatever you achieve in your cubing years, just congratulations, and I really don't mean to be. I don't mean to sort of be a bit of a downer, but that is what it is. We'll move on at some stage, and it's basically how my cubing was in a nutshell. And yeah, so thanks for watching. I'm going to sign off now, but yeah.